Part of me is like, bitch, this is old and you don't even wear brown eyeshadow 95% of the time, so what are you doing? I'm losing my voice. I don't know why. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm filming another week of palettes. Oh shit. Okay, it had to be a Viseart palette that I dropped, but it's okay. It didn't break. Anyway, so it is our second week of palettes. If you guys don't know and don't follow me on Instagram, I'm doing a palette a day challenge and I'm challenging myself. But if you're watching this and you have a lot of palettes, definitely I invite you guys to jump on board. I did do like a hashtag palette a day with Amy. That way everybody can see my looks all in one place if you want to. But that way, if anybody wants to jump on board and do that with me, then I can see your looks. So make sure to use that hashtag. I'm doing 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, a different palette every day, and I'm sharing that on Instagram. And then once a week, I'm going to round up my palettes, also do some decluttering, and I will also rank them for you. So I have 6 looks, 6 palettes. I'm going to run through the looks and show you how I applied them as well. If you didn't see last week's, I do have a playlist, and I will link it down below as well. As a special treat, I have some extra palettes and I'm sure I'll get more at some point, but right now I have 4 palettes that I have extras of and I'd love to give them away for you guys. So this week I'm going to be giving away a Nomad Toscana palette. So this is what the palette looks like. This is my palette that I have, and then of course I have the new one in the box for you guys. And this one is very beautiful warm tone neutrals. It also has like a little yellowish neutral and something a little bit more brick red. So I think it's a beautiful palette for any time of year, but I know a lot of people love warm neutrals, so I feel like you can't go wrong with this. And I love Nomad palettes, so good. So I'm gonna do this every week for as long as I have palettes, so definitely be sure to check back. I didn't do it in my first one because I totally spazzed out and just didn't do it. So starting this week, I'm gonna have a palette. I have 4 palettes already, and any other palettes that I get duplicates of, or maybe I'll just purchase some palettes. So stay tuned until the end if you want to know how to enter, and I will have the rules down below as well. So okay, let's go ahead and get into the looks. I started last week with the Nabla Secret palette. This one is a beauty. So this is the packaging, which you guys may have seen, and then you have a really nice array of colors: neutrals, pinks and plums, blues. You have a little bit of everything, and I think it's a really beautiful palette. So the look that I created, I had a lot of questions about, and everybody seemed to really like it. So I started out with this one using Contigo, which is a soft, like neutral plum. It almost looks brown, it almost looks pinky, and it's more of like a brown plum. I don't even know how to say that. So I started with that just to buff everything out. I deepened everything up with Mea Culpa, which is a very dark, kind of like chocolate cherry brown. And then the color that really stole the show was Rosemary, all over the lid. As you see in the video, I'm applying it, but check out the pictures on Instagram because I'm doing my best to give you like an array of pictures, and I'm also doing like real skin. Like I'm not airbrushing the shit out of my skin. I'm letting a lot of my natural texture just peek through. So I try to do editing in a way that just makes the photo prettier, but doesn't blur out the skin, doesn't blur out the shadow. Like you can see that it's real skin, you know? So anyway, I used Rosemary and then Addiction under my lower lash line, and I felt like this look turned out beautiful. It was smoky, it was kind of elongated, and I love how this look turned out. I think it's really beautiful. Definitely a more like sultry vibe, but you can definitely take this palette and go soft. You can do something even darker and smoky. You could go with a pink. I mean, there's so many options in this, so I really do like this Nabla palette. I would be quite curious to try more from the brand. That and the little glitter quad are the only Nabla products that I've used, but I really do like them so far. And I'm gonna swatch a few that I didn't use. I said that as I was swatching the shade that I already used. So I'm gonna swatch the black. These are such smooth powders that you can like see my fingerprint in it. Like it's not even settling in the lines of my fingerprint. Like that's so weird. But such buttery kind of shadows. Beautiful shades and a different kind of vibe in these shades, so you can see how versatile this palette is. All right, next up, such a beautiful palette, the Huda Mercury Retrograde. Now, it's unfortunate that I'm only doing one look, or you know, I can only do so much, but I'm doing one look with each palette, and this palette again has so many options. You have pastels, neutrals. You got a couple deep-ish shades, but nothing too dark. It's definitely more for the person who likes the fair and neutral types of shades, but I think it's gorgeous. A few of these shades really stand out, and I wanted to do purple. I don't do a lot of purple eyeshadow looks, surprisingly. I'm always drawn to blues and pinks and greens, but this was a really simple look. So when I did this one, I just basically started with Libra, which is a like lilac, and I blended that all through, and then I took the shades Ultraviolet and Mercury. I think mostly Ultraviolet and Mercury was just like a little kick in there because it has this beautiful blue to it, but you can tell by the look that I didn't add a ton of it because it came off more purple, but I just wanted to switch it up with that. And then I also used the shade Vortex as a liner, and I think that's pretty much it with this look. I kept it really simple, and this would be a very easy look to recreate, but I just want to show you. I know I'm not swatching every single shade in every single palette, but I'm just going to swatch a few for you in this palette. Crash and Nebula. I mean, the mattes are stunning to me. I know that everybody wants to just swatch the metallics and the shimmers, but there's a couple of each, and so you can see just how beautiful these colors are. I think they're amazing, and again, a lot of variety in this palette. It's such a beautiful palette. That purple, when I put it on to my like tacky base, I pretty much use P. Louise base with every single look. I'm using 0.5 99% of the time, and today I used some of the 0, which is the white. But that purple just was so rich, like from the first little like pack, it was just this beautiful purple layer that only needed a little bit of blending. So I really enjoyed this palette. All right, the third look of the week, which a lot of people said that they still have this palette and love it, and I have to admit it's hard for me to let it go. It is the Tarte Swamp Queen palette with Graveyard Girl. If you guys remember, this was my first ever YouTube video, and I filmed like a reaction putting this palette on and like looking back at my old videos, so I'm gonna have that up for you soon. I got in a mood where I filmed a lot, but I haven't edited a lot. So lots of videos coming this week and only one unboxing. So you're gonna have like a variety of videos. But this palette has a few face shades and then 9 eyeshadows. So I do have to admit with this palette that things were a little dustier than I really remember, because I think when I did this video I was so nervous and I was like, yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I like it. It's a great palette. And it was, like, don't get me wrong, but I feel like shadows have continued to improve. Like, I feel like just eyeshadow formulation just continues to evolve and get better. And honestly, Tarte is not really where it's at for eyeshadows in my opinion anyway. They've had a couple good ones here and there, but generally speaking, they're pretty the same. And because this palette has the traditional Tarte colors in it, I haven't needed much else. Thank goodness that there is like some plum and some, you know, brick red. So I went in with Neutral Peaches and then Dogman, and basically that was the gist of the look. And then I did use some of Big Baby to blend out, which is this very light shade. I did a mixture of SFS and also Sassy Bun. I can't remember what SFS stands for. So I mainly used those colors. Sippy Sippy's beautiful in the pan. It's like this chocolate brown with glitter, but you are hard pressed to make it look like that on the eye. You can try like something tacky is about the only thing you can do, and let's like glitter glue it on, but it is more a matte consistency. I didn't really use any of the more like plum shades. They look pretty. I mean, they swatch decent. It's just everything that I used was a little bit dusty, and I did use the face products as well. The highlight's gorgeous. It's just got like this chunky glitter in it, but look, it's still so glowy while also being glittery. So I still think it's very pretty, and this is a palette that I do have a hard time letting go of. I'm probably going to keep it just because it was my first video that I filmed, and I have a very like special place in my heart. I don't know that I'm going to get one decluttered this time, but you guys weigh in because I'm going to be very wishy-washy about the last palette that I'm going to show you. Or is it the last one? Yeah. Next up, I used the Viseart Theory palette in Absinthe. Viseart shadows are some of the most beautiful, blending, creamy, especially the mattes. They're just outstanding. I wasn't really thrilled with the pictures that I posted of this look, but the eyeshadow turned out really well. I did a pretty simple cut crease, and I took it almost all the way out. So the main thing that I used is this dark green shade right here. And then I also went in with a little bit of the darker brown. I used this very light champagne in my inner corner, and then this shade I used pretty much all over the lid and put a little bit of the green like towards the outer of where I was blending it out. So I used every single shade in here to create this look, but it turns out a little bit more like very muted, like you can't really see that this is like green eyeshadows. It comes off like this very dark muted green, maybe a hint of blue or a hint of gray. So I love the quality. I just don't really love the look that I posted, but you know, it's gonna happen every now and then, so whatevs. But Viseart shadows are amazing. Viseart palette is definitely here to stay. It's gorgeous. So I did a video using the e.l.f. Mint Melt eyeshadow. So I used this one. This is meant to be, and it is just 4 shades, but I did go ahead and use it since it was a new eyeshadow, and I definitely wanted to film using my goodies. I had a mask. I had their 3 eyeshadow brushes, lip gloss, primer, and also their new CC. So definitely check that video out. It'll be coming up soon. So really, really beautiful shadows. And once again, I used all 4 shades to create the look that I did. This look was slapping, and for $4 I'm like, oh my god, it's so pretty. So it was a very, very basic. I used the light mint as a like all over crease shade. Like I put it in the crease and blew it out everywhere. This darker green in the outer corner, and then I basically put this green shimmer all over the lid, and then a little bit of this one in the inner corner. So it was pretty like simple to do, but the look, I mean, I'm dying for the look. I love it. And so many of you guys seem to like it. And I also did a Fantasy Freckle Friday with this look. I brought that back because I had been really slipping during December. And then in January, like it would get here and it would be Friday, and I'm like, oh my god. So I finally did it. So yeah, this is amazing. I highly recommend these e.l.f. shadows. I haven't tried a bunch of these in the little 4s, but I know they have other colors. But if you like this mint look, you can recreate that with this for $4. I have an e.l.f. link below. It is an affiliate. I just get a teensy commission. So if you use that link, just know that, but all the money goes back into my channel. You guys know I'm a broke bitch because I do this full time, and it's basically just me playing with makeup. So, okay, last look of the week I also shared and a lot of people liked. I used the OG Naked palette. This is the first one I ever had. I've not replaced this palette. I got this back when I really didn't do a lot of makeup, but I started buying a lot of makeup, like a lot. Not nearly as much as I have now. So with this one, I can honestly say I used the shade Naked and then Buck, and then I could not get my outer corner to be a color that I liked. So honestly, I went Smog, Dark Horse, Toasted, Hustle, Creep. I used them all, like, and just mixed them all in there, and so it looks kind of like this taupey brown, what is it? This wasn't really a look that I wore and was like, oh my god, but I did do the pink liner, which was really pretty. The pink liner, because I used a ColourPop glitter over a P. Louise paint, it transferred to my top lid, and you can see that in the pictures if you look. I tried to like fix it so you know you could see what the look was really supposed to look like, but I didn't hide it too much. You can definitely see the fact that it transferred up. But the liner was really cute. It just, those ColourPop glitters are a little more wet. And so yeah, I had some transfer, I had some issues, but I just don't know, like part of me wants to keep this palette just as like everybody has this palette, you know, but part of me is like, bitch, this is old and you don't even wear brown eyeshadow 95% of the time, so what are you doing? So weigh in below if I should keep it, if I should let it go, and for this week I'm just gonna let you guys decide. I'll just look at your answers. So for the giveaway, if you want to win the Nomad Toscana palette, the new one, not this one, leave me a comment down below and let me know, is this a keeper or a goodbye-bye palette? Let me know. And then you just have to be subscribed and like the video, leave that comment, and then just as a way to communicate with you, leave me an Instagram handle, Twitter handle, email if you don't have it. I really prefer Instagram, like most people have Instagram, so it's a way to contact you, but preferably IG. If you don't have it, Twitter, email, something like that, so that I can contact you very easily to send you out that palette, and then the next week I'll do somebody else. So if you don't win the first week, don't lose hope. There are more palettes to be had, and there will continue to be palettes to be had because a lot of palettes. So anyway, let's go ahead and rank these palettes. When I rank my palettes, I'm looking at not only quality but like quality for cost, if that makes sense. So overall, what I think is the best, but I'm gonna be annoying and pick like the most expensive palette as my favorite. The look wasn't necessarily my favorite, but this palette is gorgeous. The Huda Mercury Retrograde I have to pick as number 1. I'm gonna pick the e.l.f. as number 2 because A, it was gorgeous, just simply gorgeous, and it's $4 freaking dollars. Maybe it should be number 1, I don't know, but I'm just going with my gut on this. I'm gonna go for the Viseart as number 3, mostly just on the quality of the eyeshadows, and these little 6 pans are not like super expensive, but I look at them as you know, a very quality product, but I also get them on a deal. I'm not paying like retail for these 90% of the time. The value is not as great, but the quality is so good. I'm gonna have to go with the Nabla palette as number 4 because it's gorgeous. I feel like this brand just does some really dope stuff, and I think the palette's really pretty. For 5 and 6 are going to be my older ones, mainly because they are more neutral. You guys know that's just not my bag. I just don't wear neutral eyeshadows that often, and probably not surprisingly, I'm gonna put Swamp Queen as number 5 and then the Naked palette at number 6. This was just, I had it because it was the palette to have, and it was the first palette that I saw that had all these colors, and you know, it was pretty good. For the time when it came out, it was really good. So I have a hard time thinking about letting go of it, but weigh in and let me know if I should let this go or if I should keep it. So that's the giveaway. So one more time, make sure you're subscribed and you like the video. That's 1 and 2. Leave a comment, just tell me, keep it, toss it, whatever. You can add any other things you want in there, and any type of way to contact you, preferably IG handle, and an extra entry if you are following me on there. It's my same name on here, Amy_Erica. That is the palettes for the week, and that's my giveaway. If I declutter one, it's gonna be this one. So you guys let me know, and I will base that off of your votes and your input. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was so fun hanging with you as always. So that's it for now. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.